Hi there. Welcome.
Okay, hi, we're the Westview Saxophone Quintet, and we'll be performing PR Girl by Andrew Tweed. I'm Keith Skoglin, that's Gary Chang, that's Dennis Pern, that's Omar Burkhart, and that's Jeremy Graves.
Great. So how much coaching help did you get, and how much of that was like on your own?
A almost all of it was on our own, and maybe about half an hour coaching.
Yeah.
Cool, cool. So, well, it's pretty. This is pretty complex music, and so much of this is just like, I mean, it's really fun to listen to, and you're getting this really great groove, and what makes that is like the rhythmic part. I mean, that's cool what you're doing with that. That's like off the hook, really nice all the way through. Great articulation from you and all that. One of the things that I would do though is just go there with the jazz style when it shows up, because it's written in that. I mean, they could have written this a lot easier to read it. You know, if they would have written it like they write big band music instead of how they write classical music. And what's not here that you need to put here are the accents on those do ba do da do da do stuff. And right now it's dee da 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 da. Do da do da do da. You know what I'm talking about when you're like in the full blown swing stuff that's in here. Let me show you a section. And the other thing is that you guys have lots of technique, but in some of the really technical spots, it goes by too fast. And to take your time with some of these 16th note runs that are in here, it's like your fingers get, or your mind, you look at all those black notes there, and you go, oh man, this must be fast. I got to play this really fast. And so then you beat everybody to the next downbeat. So just like enjoy it. Take your time and back the tempo off some of those really technical runs and stuff. And because what happens is then it doesn't land in the next bar when everybody else gets there. So just take your time with those a little bit. So let's find one of those spots. Like at letter A. D da da do da da ba do da do da, like that, with a lot more bite on those upbeat notes. Play a little bit of that for me, and think about like your super sax and not like some French saxophone quintet. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Right, and it's not written, but the breath push needs to be on the offbeat note. Da do da do da do ba do da. Okay, even make more of that. 2, 3, 4. The fall. And you have a couple of these in here, right? Okay, here's the rule on falls. Establish the note before you go anywhere. Okay, you are like, your fingers are already moving when we get on that note. And that note should be dee, not blah, da da blah, but dee. So the fall is like, has to be on the, doesn't need to be very long, but it needs to be in the second half of the note, not the first half of the note. That's the right idea. And if you can just emphasize that a little bit, and good job of getting out of the way of the solos. I mean, that was really good. I was really impressed by that. There's some good listening going on. You're like, and we can hear in there, a little more of that would even be better. But that's pretty good. And just that, the couple little marks that I made in here just have to do with trying to get that swing. When that swing pattern comes up, it's not all the time, because a lot of this is like on the clock, where it needs to sound kind of like that real kind of rhythmic, modern stuff. But there are times when it jumps out of that. One spot where we're talking about technical stuff, it's like the one, what's the measure number? 30, 29, 28 in there, very solo there. You can take your time on that. Okay, that was one of those solo parts that just got a little bit ahead. And the background stuff on the tenor solo after E, one, goo da, that you can really bite off that eighth note. Let's hear that without the solo. Ready? Da dee da do da do da. Which part is that? It looks like T1. Yeah, T1 has the part that do dee dee da do da do, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Do, and make sure you're tonguing the eighth note. It sounds like this. It's almost like a glottal. Do instead of do da, a little bit more definition. And the do da dee da do da do da. Make sure that eighth note is not going to end up short. Do da 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 da. Try it. 1, 2, 3, and. This is priority 1, right? The solo part. Priority 2. The rest of you, like 5. Yeah. All right. That's kind of like the walking bass line part that you have there. So that, and everybody else is just, anyway, I can nitpick, but I won't. Good job. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good work.
Hold on, Jaden. Excuse me. Excuse me. You guys did awesome.
I had a very long time.